Good day, everybody. My name is Jonathan. I'm from Boredom Sated.
I'm Boris from Boredom Stated.
And today we are going to continue our monster mashup. It's not really a mashup. Our creature comparison, which is the list that we've been going through for another creature between the differences between 5th edition and Pathfinder 2. And the creature we're going to talk about today is going to be the Doppelganger.
Yes, uh, one of my favorite creatures from all the previous editions, and uh, it looks like between the Pathfinder and D&D Fifth Edition, this is one of the few creatures that's exactly the same.
Don't give away the ending, man.
Ah,
So, first of all, what is a doppelganger? A doppelganger is generally a creature that can look like anything. It can look like you. It becomes a double. Your doppelganger is someone that looks like you, acts like you, talks like you. In fiction and mythology, it's usually a paranormal creature. It's a harbinger of bad luck. It's often portrayed by a ghostly or paranormal phenomenon. Other stories equate a doppelganger to a strange twin or something like that. Obviously, in more recent times, when we think of a doppelganger, we think of a creature that can turn into anyone.
yes. And actually, and it's I was looking around in pop culture. There are a few, type of doppelganger movies recently. That the one with the evil twins, but most of it is just evil twins. It's like Mirror Mirror in Star Trek, and it's not really true doppelgangers that switch from you to somebody else to back to you. It's just your evil twins.
Yeah, if you want to go with a good version of doppelgangers, there are several shows that do give very good versions of it. Supernatural has a very good version of doppelgangers. I happened to watch one of the doppelganger episodes last night.
Yeah.
So,
Right. Yeah.
doppelgangers, again, usually they can change into anyone, and then there's some rules that the D&D has done. Now, in previous editions, they were usually a little higher level of creature. In our current editions, both Pathfinder 2 and D&D 5th edition, they're both CR3.
Yes. And even though we know that you can add character classes within both, actually in the Pathfinder it does recommend that you give it some character class. Because they in the at least in the text they do consider it is, even though they don't have their own society, it is a intellectual creature that would most likely study some sort if it had the abilities of a character class.
So, what abilities do doppelgangers have?
Well, they definitely have to change shape into any medium or small sized creature, humanoid, to look exactly like them,
Exact,
sound like them.
exactly like a creature they have seen.
Right.
So,
They
if
have
they've
to
seen
have
you,
seen
they can
it.
turn into you.
Right. But they have to. The interesting part in D&D, just as seen, actually in Pathfinder, the verbiage used is whose appearance it remember. So I guess
Well, appearance they remember probably still means they've had to have seen them,
they've seen them. Yeah.
because otherwise, I remember my Uncle Joe. What did he look like?
Uh,
He he, he was tall. I-
right.
You see the point.
No, I
However,
get it. Yeah.
the doppelganger in 5th edition is an action they can turn into something. The version in Pathfinder 2, I assume, is something similar, I believe.
They
Um,
can. Yeah, they can. It is a polymorph. Yeah.
both of them basically have a surprise ability. If someone doesn't realize that they
Right.
the doppelganger, they get surprise. The surprise damage, at least in Pathfinder in D&D, is I think 3d6.
Right.
In
This
Pathfinder, is it similar or?
No, in Pathfinder, it just makes you flat-footed. There's
Oh,
no
in
bonus to damage.
There is a flat-footed bonus as well for being
Right.
surprise attack, for being that in 5th edition as well. Of course, the other thing is, as a special ability, the doppelgangers in 5th edition have the ability to read thoughts, as opposed to in Pathfinder 2, where they have a spell that they can use at will
Right.
to
Mind
read
read.
thoughts.
But the special ability in 5th edition is better than the mind read because it can go through solid objects, whereas
Yes.
the mind read spell, I do believe, cannot.
And the mind read also does give you some advantages when interacting with that character
Yes.
using certain social skills.
Yeah.
In 5th edition, at least, it is specific. You get advantage on rolls with wisdom, insight, intimidation, and deception and
Yeah.
perception.
Yep.
Wisdom and charisma based skills. You get advantage when you are trying to manipulate someone that you are reading their mind for.
Right.
Which I think makes a lot of sense. I've only used doppelgangers once in Pathfinder 2, and it was a little underwhelming because the party basically just didn't do any of the things I expected them to do, so it made it really hard. Basically, I had to make the decision as to whether the doppelganger was just going to follow along with them because they did something so stupid that it didn't go with the plan, or if I was just going to have the doppelganger come out and be like, it's me the whole time, stabby, stabby. So I had the decision as to whether to just have it be a straight up fight, which makes no sense with a doppelganger, or have no conclusion to their thing because the doppelganger would just walk away.
Right.
And it was disappointing either way.
Yeah. No, I can definitely see that. I think. Do you think it would have been better if you added some levels to it and gave him some other abilities?
No, because then the party would have just died.
Oh, okay.
They were free at level. It's just that's the problem with doppelgangers. There needs to be a very well written example for them to come out because they're intelligent. Doppelgangers are not creatures that are just going to attack the party. Doppelgangers are creatures that are going to infiltrate the party, or more likely, not even infiltrate the party. They're going to infiltrate something that is going wrong, and the party has to figure out who the infiltrator is, and once they're figured out, then it will attack. The problem is setting something up like that is very easy to do, but parties are not very good at figuring it out in a way that makes it so that the doppelganger wouldn't just run away.
Right. So I looked up the spell, and the native ability in 5th edition is far more superior than this spell.
So, based on that, as you can see, their abilities in general are almost exactly the same. Yeah. Their history is almost exactly the same. Their CR is basically the same. They do equivalent damage, except the 5th edition has a better ability and does sneak attack on the first round after it's attacking from coming out of being scary. So therefore, our verdict is 5th edition is a little bit better in this one.
Yes, 5th edition definitely has advantage in this one. And like I said, I really think a doppelganger on character levels to really make it a very, at which point it becomes a very useful villain for the DM. But without those, it's okay.
So yeah, that gets us to that. Please tell us, do you have any stories of having a doppelganger come up, both positive or negative, in your campaigns? One of my campaigns that I played years and years ago, in a Pathfinder 1 campaign, doppelgangers literally two doppelgangers literally brought a player who suspected something to a building and then killed the player while we were chasing because we couldn't get in time. It was hilarious and terrible, and basically said, stop trying to split the party. But it's an example of useful ways doppelgangers can do that. Right. Tell us any stories you have. Tell us any abilities you think that maybe a doppelganger should have that they don't, or anything like that.
Definitely. And please like, subscribe, comment, and let us know if there's any creature you would like us to discuss. Do a comparison. We will be more than happy to take recommendations. And this is Boris from Boredom Sated.
This is Jonathan from Boredom Sated. See you guys next time, and have a good day.